In this video, we ask the question, what happens to us when AI and CRISPR merge? What happens when two of the most powerful tools in human history, artificial intelligence and genetic engineering, merge? This isn't science fiction. It's not even next generation. It's now. Artificial intelligence is rapidly advancing. CRISPR gene editing is already rewriting the rules of biology. And when these two technologies start working together, they could alter the course of evolution itself. But is that a good thing? Could it save lives? Or divide humanity? Could it spark a revolution? Or a reckoning? Let's explore where we're headed, and ask what happens to humanity when AI and CRISPR converge. But first, let's dive into what CRISPR is. CRISPR is more than just a tool, it's a biological revolution. It stands for Clustered Regularly Interspaced Short Palindromic Repeats. These are sequences of DNA found in bacteria, where they act like genetic memory, helping bacteria recognize and defend against viruses. Scientists discovered that this system could be reprogrammed to edit DNA in other organisms, including humans. The CRISPR-Cas9 system acts like a GPS-guided scalpel. Cas9 is the enzyme that makes the cut, and the RNA guides it to the precise location in the genome. This tool is being used right now. In 2020, scientists in the US used CRISPR to treat a patient with sickle cell disease, a genetic condition that causes painful blood disorders. The treatment reprogrammed the patient's bone marrow to produce healthy blood cells. The patient's symptoms vanished. She's now living pain-free. CRISPR has also been used to modify T cells to fight cancer, enhance crop resistance to drought in Africa, and even attempt to bring extinct species, like the woolly mammoth, back to life through gene reconstruction. But knowing where to cut, and what to change, is where it gets tricky. Editing one gene can have ripple effects across hundreds of systems. The human genome is not a simple instruction manual. It's more like a tangled web of interdependencies. That's where AI steps in. What is AI? Artificial intelligence is often portrayed as a digital brain, but in practice, it's a set of algorithms trained on data. What makes AI powerful is its scale and speed. Let's break it down. AI is about identifying patterns in massive datasets. Machine learning, a subset of AI, trains models using input data, like images, DNA sequences, or text, and teaches them to make predictions or classifications. For example, Google's DeepMind created an AI called AlphaFold that predicted the 3D structure of over 200 million proteins. This solved a challenge scientists had struggled with for 50 years, and opened the door to drug discovery, vaccine development, and new materials research. In medicine, AI is now analyzing patient records to forecast disease risk. Tools like IBM Watson are sifting through millions of clinical trials to find the best treatment options. AI is helping radiologists detect tumors that are invisible to the human eye. The reason AI works well in biology is because biology is messy, full of uncertainty, redundancy, and overwhelming complexity. And AI thrives in complexity. It can simulate thousands of genetic outcomes in minutes. It can suggest edits that scientists might never think to try. So what happens when we let AI guide CRISPR? We stop editing genes manually and start optimizing them. So, what happens when these two technologies merge? Picture this. A patient walks into a clinic with a rare genetic condition. Instead of trial and error treatments, an AI model analyzes their genome, identifies the mutation, predicts the safest way to fix it, and hands off the instructions to a CRISPR system. All within hours. This is already happening on a small scale. At Stanford, AI systems are being trained to match CRISPR edits to target regions of DNA with near-perfect accuracy, avoiding off-target effects, which have been a major safety concern. In agriculture, AI-guided CRISPR technology is being used to design plants that adapt to climate change. In China, researchers used AI to design CRISPR edits that made rice more resilient to heat and flooding, without reducing yield. AI isn't just speeding up CRISPR, it's transforming it from a biological tool into a programmable platform. And when biology becomes programmable, everything changes, from medicine, to reproduction, to what it even means to be human. What are the benefits and risks of this combined technology? What can we gain with the merger of AI and CRISPR technologies? Well, for one, we could eliminate inherited diseases. That's not a dream, that's a current clinical trial. We could engineer immune cells that destroy cancer without chemo. That's happening in hospitals today. We could create crops that feed billions and restore ecosystems decimated by climate change. We could even extend human lifespan, dramatically, by editing out the genes that accelerate aging or susceptibility to disease. But every power has a shadow. What happens if only the wealthy can afford to have access to these enhancements? What happens when intelligence, beauty, or resistance to disease become genetically tiered, designed into the rich and excluded from the poor, creating a genetic caste system? China has already experimented with CRISPR-edited embryos. In 2018, a scientist edited twin girls to be resistant to HIV. It caused international outrage, not just because of safety, but because of ethics. What gives one person the right to decide what counts as a better human? Some believe our flaws are as important as our perfections. As AI becomes better at predicting desirable traits, who decides which traits to enhance? And what if a nation-state decides to use this technology to create genetically optimized soldiers? Or track citizens through their DNA? We've reached a point where biology is no longer sacred. It can be edited. It's hackable, monetizable, and it can be weaponized. The question isn't, can we? It's, should we? What happens to us? Let's take a look at several scenarios. Let's explore the potential directions this could take. Some believe in a more utopian future. In one possible world, global frameworks are established. CRISPR and AI are treated like nuclear energy, powerful but regulated. Everyone has access to basic genetic healthcare. AI ensures equitable treatment. Cancer and Alzheimer's are gone. Depression and anxiety are mapped at the gene level and treated before it begins. Human lifespan stretches to 120, and we spend our extra decades healthy, curious, and compassionate. In our quest for healing, AI acts as an ally, not an adversary. AI amplifies our ability to care for life. In this partnership, we unlock new potentials and pave the way for sustainable solutions. Together, we forge a future where technology and nature coexist harmoniously, nurturing the delicate balance of our living ecosystems as we advance in our understanding and preservation of life and health. What about the inverse? A more dystopian future? In a darker timeline, enhancements become commercialized. Corporations offer genetic upgrades to the wealthy, intelligence boosters, height enhancement, appearance optimization. Over time, a gene divide emerges. The wealthy don't just have better schools or healthcare. They have children born with enhanced immune systems, sharper cognition, and even slower aging. These upgrades are inheritable, meaning privilege becomes biological. Those without access, natural-born humans, are left behind, vulnerable not just economically, but genetically. What starts as innovation turns into a caste system encoded in DNA. Meanwhile, AI profiles individuals from birth, predicting behavior, surveilling emotions, even denying jobs or benefits based on genetics. And somewhere, a biotech startup begins editing embryos without consent, because the market demands it. It's a chilling echo of the 20th century, when eugenics programs, most notoriously under Nazi Germany, sought to engineer a better human by force. That horror taught us how dangerous it is when science serves ideology. Today's tools are far more precise, but the temptation is the same: to define human value through genes. This time, it won't be state-mandated sterilization. It would be a market-driven enhancement. In this world, biology becomes a product, and humanity fractures along DNA lines. What is the most likely future? History shows us how this usually goes. The printing press changed the landscape of information forever. 0.5s it stirred both truth and deceit. In its wake, a dual-edged sword emerged, a tool for enlightenment and a channel for manipulation. As voices flourished in the public sphere, so too did the shadows of misinformation, challenging society to discern what was real amidst the chaos of printed words. The Industrial Revolution brought progress at a great cost. The impact on nature was profound, leading to pollution and habitat destruction. As factories thrived and cities expanded, wildlife diminished and landscapes transformed, forcing humanity to confront the consequences of its relentless pursuit of advancement. The balance between innovation and ecology hangs precariously in the balance. The internet bridged continents, yet it also splintered our focus and jeopardized our privacy. In this digital age, we find ourselves torn between the allure of connection and the growing need for mindfulness, as the very tool meant to unite us often leaves us feeling more isolated than ever. Technology always brings trade-offs. But we adapt. We push for regulation. We build norms. We wrestle with the costs. And eventually, we integrate. So yes, CRISPR and AI will cause disruption. There will be accidents, lawsuits, breakthroughs, and bans. But perhaps ultimately, if we play this smart as a species, these tools will become part of the modern human toolkit, just like the wheel, the plow, the printing press, electricity, and satellites. We are standing at the edge of a biological singularity, a point where biology and machine intelligence merge. And beyond that point, the future becomes fuzzy. So, what happens to us if AI and CRISPR merge? We evolve. But whether we evolve into something better, or something unrecognizable, depends on the choices we make right now. The future won't be shaped solely by algorithms or edits. It will be shaped by the values we embed in those systems, and by the courage to explore the unknown with both curiosity and caution. We are not passive observers of this future. We are its architects. Would you let an AI rewrite your DNA? Tell us below. Thank you for listening. Please like and share.